Erik, before we start today's episode, let's play a little trivia. You down?
Yeah, let's do it.
The last time the Browns beat New England in New England, who was the Browns head coach?
Oh, I'm going to give you an off the wall answer for this one. I'll say Bill Belichick was the Browns coach.
You are correct in 1992.
I'm shocked because that was complete guess. I thought Noah might do something fun like that, just knowing him, but still a complete guess. Did not look that up, but I'll give myself a golden star for that guess. But the Browns play the Patriots. The question is, can they pull that off again? So the last time being the early '90s. I don't know. Tough road ahead.
Well, the last time the Browns beat the Patriots, it was actually 2010. The last time they've done it in New England, however, is the trivia from before the intro. Do you remember the last time the Browns beat the Patriots? I do.
I do actually, because it was so shocking. That was still Tom Brady's team,
Yep.
and I don't. I think I was there. I can't remember that, but it was like a big blowout victory.
34-14, November 7th, 2010. Final score was 34-14. Colt McCoy was your quarterback, 14 of 19 for 179 yards. Peyton Hillis had rushed for 194 yards in that game. That was peak Peyton Hillis football, baby.
Yeah, it was. That was cover of Madden, Peyton Hillis.
That it was indeed. Erik, how are you feeling about this Patriots matchup? I feel like the roller coaster of the media, of everyone's reactions, of how they're feeling about the Browns right now has really been just what I said, a roller coaster this week.
Yeah, you never know what to expect from this team. If they can put together a game plan like they did against the Dolphins and win in all aspects of the game and force the Patriots to beat themselves, then they have a shot. Is that likely to happen? No, I don't think so. I think next year or whenever we play at New England again, we're going to be saying the same thing. Who was the last coach to beat them? And the answer is still going to be Bill Belichick. It's not going to be Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I'm feeling decently confident, and maybe it's me buying
Oh, he's
into
back, baby.
the known homer is back, baby. I'm feeling good. I'm not feeling like ecstatic by any means. There was still a lot of things that you wanted to clean up from that Miami Dolphins game. So to say that you feel like they're going to win, especially when you look at the odds and stuff, which we'll get into here in a little bit, it would be asinine. But I think this team has some renewed, rejoiced energy, especially coming out of what was such a hot, hard, tough start to their NFL season. So to think that the Browns don't have a chance in this game is a little foolish. We're talking about a second year quarterback going up against what is, for all intents and purposes, the top ranked defense in the NFL. So there's some things here that I could see the Browns exploiting and doing to win this game.
Yeah, for sure. But where I struggle is that the offense needs to move the ball in order to help out the defense. The Patriots come in hot. They have a young quarterback in Drake Maye that looks very good. They're well coached under Mike Vrabel. I mean, there's not a lot of aspects to this team that I don't like. They play really good complementary football. That's something that the Browns have struggled to do. Yes, it came together last week and it looked great, but this week's a different story and they're playing a different talent level. That said, I mean, the keys for the Browns are exactly like you're saying. The offense, or I'm saying, the offense needs to move the ball. They need to get first downs and help their defense out because if the defense, I don't care how top defense you have, it really doesn't matter if you're on the field constantly. On the other side of the ball, the Patriots are probably going to look to make easy plays, easy throws. You know, our secondary is not the best spot of this team, but it doesn't need to be when you have a front D that's incredible. So the question is, are we going to be able to get to Drake May before he starts to pick us apart?
So you got trigger happy there. You went from offense to defense. You gave the
I'm
whole
all over it.
wide set. You were all over the place, and
Just
that's
setting the
fine.
scene, buddy.
You are setting the scene. So we'll kick it with the defensive versus offensive matchup, meaning the Browns defense, of course, because of course I'm going to mention the Browns first. Um, that is the matchup that, like every week, is the most important. Can this defense get to Drake May, who is a young quarterback, put pressure on him, make him feel nervous, make him not play like how he has in the last couple games, which has been absolutely phenomenal? You're talking over the last 4 games. His passer ratings through the roof. He hasn't thrown a turnover. We're talking 7 touchdowns, about 1,000 yards, about everything you want to see. The Titans game he played last week, he completed 91% of his passes for 222 yards. I mean, the stats are there. He is having a great year. I've heard some people put him in the MVP conversation, which I think is asinine at this
That's
point.
wild. Yeah, it's
Because
early.
you're talking Panthers, Saints, Titans. The only big win is the Bills, and he didn't throw or rush for a touchdown whatsoever in that game. So, with that being said, can Miles and company get to Drake May, get pressure on Drake May, make him make dumb young quarterback mistakes that you can see happen regardless on how great you are, even in year one, year two, even year three, and force turnovers, not at the clip that they did against Tua turn the ball over last week, but at a good clip like last week.
Yeah, I agree. You need to make the Patriots one-dimensional and force mistakes. If we can make things difficult for them, especially with Drake May, like you're saying in the passing game, I think that boosts the chances for an upset. Um, we can create turnovers and disrupt their rhythm. We know that already. Yeah, it's probably not going to come at the clip of last week, like you said. That was like one of those crazy all cylinders clicking kind of games that we just don't see often for the Browns. But we got to minimize our own mistakes, and I'm saying that including the defense. We've got to stop jumping off sides. Like we can't give them free yardage, or else we're not going to win this game. I love Miles. I think he's one of the best players in the league. He has a tendency to do just that and jump off sides. We don't need to beat them by that fraction of a second. I think pure talent alone, he's going to get chipped and doubled anyway. So I hope we can keep it together and play a clean game, and that'll just help us a little bit more. But we have nothing to lose too, so underdog that always matters.
Yeah, and you look at this game and we go into the bye week next week, which is crazy. We're already at the bye week for this Cleveland Browns season. You go into the bye week next week. If you win this one, you're 3-5. You beat a guy that you could have had potentially be your coach this year, and there was that type of drama. I mean, you are talking about a complete flip, a complete turn of the mood of what this season could look like. Now, I'm not talking playoffs and I'm not talking crazy, but we were ho hum down bad over here in Cleveland for a while. 3-5 going into the bye week, and then you come out and you play the Jets, and the Titans are coming up. I know that for a fact. The Raiders, the only hard game you really have is Baltimore. If you can get this one, you're feeling half decent. That's all I'm saying. I want to give a piece of credit to Miles Garrett real quick because we came at his leadership a little bit with some of his comments in the media, kind of being like, well, the offense isn't helping us out and doing
Yeah.
what we need to do. Did you see he had a little pregame speech for the game against, of course, the Dolphins?
No.
It was good. He got his boys fiery. They got a good chant in there. I don't think I've ever seen a clip of Miles having the guys huddled around him and him yipping the guys up. That's something that you've critiqued before and talked about how TJ Watt does that kind of thing, for example. Well, I saw a clip of him doing it, so I want to just give him credit for bouncing back from what I think was a down moment in the Miles needs to be a leader conversation.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that Miles, I think it fluctuates with his own personality and how he's feeling. First couple weeks he's a stud, and we talked, and I said that's defensive player of the year material just off the bat, regardless of how bad the offense looked. And then he dipped, and I think mentally he took a dip because the team was such low expectations and they were still under those expectations. I think he had given up a little bit and it took a little bit of fire and he's got that back in his belly, which is great to see. But I agree, give him credit where it's due. He stepped up in that leadership role more so than I think we expected him to.
Yeah, and I thought we were back on the same path of, oh, well, he's not a leader when he was making some of the comments that he did in the media the week leading up to the Dolphins game. And honestly, his pregame speech that he had was a little bit like, the coaches are telling us have fun, let's get out there, get back to the basics. F that. I want to win. The only time I have fun winning or playing football is when I win. And it was motivating. It was good. It was what I want to see out of him with the challenges of being a leader that have been laid out in front of him when he signed this contract extension after the trade demands.
Yeah, for sure. And he looks like the guy still that we come to expect from Miles Garrett. And by the way, his chip rate and his double rate have exploded. It's so much higher even this season than last season. Defenses continue to try to account for the quote unquote Miles Garrett problem, which means that other guys should be getting home too. And we see that the effect is there, even if the numbers aren't always there. So that's nice to see. That said, not the Achilles heel for this team. It still remains to be with the offense. And what do you expect from that side of the ball from us?
Um, you're not gonna like what I expect from the offense whatsoever, but I expect them to pass the ball more than run the ball. And this is maybe a hot take because of what we've seen and what we know works for this Cleveland Browns offense. You know, Quinshon Judkins is a dog, and don't get me wrong, he's gonna get his 15, 20 carries. I'm not saying that. But the New England Patriots running defense is top 10. I believe it is top 5 at this point now.
They're third,
So
if I'm not mistaken.
third. Okay, there you go. Exactly. Where they lack is when you start looking at that secondary. They've had three DBs allowed two turnovers. They've had 20-point games four times already this season. They've allowed six players to have 90 plus yard games already this season. If Dylan Gabriel's a starting quarterback, if this offense has a chance or a week to flip the script on some of their woes, this could be a game where they can exploit a secondary that I'm not saying they're bad. They're not even Miami level bad. I'm not calling it Miami. This game is not Miami. But if there's a week to start turning around, and the weather's not supposed to be bad this time, too. It's supposed to be cold, like 50 degrees, but let's see if Dylan can throw deeper than, maybe 10 yards this week. I think this would be a good week to see that, don't you?
Yeah, it would be, and I agree with everything you're saying. I think there's one problem with that, and it is our offensive line. Because the Patriots generate pressure not just from the edges, but from the interior guys as well. I mean, they're really good at getting to the quarterback. So is Dylan Gabriel going to have time to exploit that secondary? And I disagree a little bit. I do think, like, I get what you're saying, but I think the Patriots have good guys and talent at all three levels. This is a good defense. This is a really good defense. Like you said, they're around third in their rush defense. Putting the ball in his hands, though, and making Gabriel, I mean, be a playmaker, I don't know. We saw that, and I don't know that that's the position we want to put him in to win. Is it necessary? A little bit. I'm hoping that Quinshon can upset that run defense a little bit more. But again, it comes down to the O line. That's where we've struggled in both pass pro and run schemes. I mean, the guys can only do so much, right? If Dylan Gabriel's dropping back and he has no time, etc., yeah, he needs to help himself, but he's got to get some help out there.
Well, I think help is kind of coming in a way, and I'm not saying this again. Anytime I say help is coming in the way, or I sound positive about the Cleveland Browns, I'm not saying that everything is miraculously going to be top 10. I just mean it's going to be better than it was in the fact that Jack Conklin was practicing this week, in the fact that we're going to be full strength at offensive line, so we don't have to see KT Levingston and Corn Lucas rotate at that right tackle position like they did last week. We're going to see this offensive line at full strength yet again. And hopefully that helps one Dylan Gabriel. The only issue is Ethan Posick missing on Thursday with illness. So hopefully it's not anything too serious. And that way he can, in fact, practice, play, do what he needs to do this weekend because he is the center, which means he's calling a lot of the fronts and doing a lot of the things in terms of making the offense flow.
I will say that I complain about it all the time with Stefanski, but we play behind the sticks so often. And I talked about not being super impressed with that win against the Dolphins because, especially in that first drive, penalty yard, and we only got a field goal out of it, but penalty yardage really helped us get down the field. So often we were seeing third and longs. We've got to limit that in this game. And that's going to be tough when the run game's tough to get going. I want to see some better play calling, and I don't even mind. Like trickery's fine with me as long as it's not behind the line of scrimmage. I think we rely heavily on those RPOs and screens, and they don't necessarily work for us. We need to get the ball out a little further beyond the sticks. And if we can do that, we could have a good day. I don't have faith at this point. If we do pull off the win, by the way, though, I'm back on board fully.
Yeah, I'm trying to lead the cavalry now, and if I'm upset on Sunday, I'm upset on Sunday. I have a week, 2 weeks really to get my frustration out and not worry about the Browns with the bye week coming out. So I'm gonna be the positive one and the voice of not reason. Reason isn't the word. Maybe the voice of um, stupidity,
Fandom?
fandom. I'm trying to
Insanity?
think.
Yeah.
Insanity. Yes, all of the words, all of those work perfectly for me. Injury report wise, there's another couple big ones out there. Mason Graham, I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Mason Graham, of course, he had a knee injury. He was full on the Thursday practice. Jerry Judy returned to practice. He was a do not participate with a knee, and Joku was back at practice both days. I think we are going to see a pretty healthy Cleveland Browns team going into this game, all things considered. And the big one, the one we've been talking about week in and week out, I think Mike Hall is going to take his first snap for the Cleveland Browns this Sunday in that interior of the defensive line. He was a full participant both days of practice thus far for the Browns.
That's pretty exciting and definitely something to watch for. As well as this receiver core, I think having Njoku back, Najoku rather, helps us definitely. I talked about trading him in the last episode, and I stand by that. But to have a target out there like Najoku will certainly help our young quarterback.
For sure. And speaking of young quarterback, before we go into the betting lines, final predictions, go into all of our stuff, did you hear the quote about Kevin Stefanski that was stirring the pot a little bit out there this week?
No.
Of course, it had to do with one Shador Sanders. I'm going to let it ride and then get your reaction on it.
No, I mean, with a young quarterback with Dylan starting, you want to make sure he gets a lot of the reps. Different when you have a veteran like Joe, I would tell you. Still getting reps in a bunch of periods. No, I mean,
So this was Stefanski talking about Shador not getting any first team reps still. He's basically only with the twos during practice, despite being the backup. Of course, people were in a flurry because Dylan Gabriel has been getting first team reps basically his whole time in Cleveland. You see where this is going. I don't have to connect all the dots for you. I thought this was a non story. What did you think?
I'm split. That is the first time that I heard that. It's been a busy week for me, but I'm split here because while I think his answer is the right answer, coming from him who clearly does not value Shador Sanders is what makes me split on this subject. Because it's clear he didn't want Shador. He doesn't want to play Shador. It's not Shador's team. It's Kevin's team. The buck stops here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where I'm a little split. For the most part, I think this would be a non-issue, and I think he's right. A young guy should get most of the first team reps if he's starting this game. But because it's Stefanski and we know how he feels about Sanders, eh, I'm like 20%. Maybe there's something there.
See, I'm not because you want as a young yeah, I can think about it in my own time period of playing football. I don't remember a time when a second string quarterback was taking team reps with the first team unless it was like camp. Like genuine camp. So, of course, you want, especially your young quarterback, to be taking as many reps as he can with the first team. Now, I do also get the concern because what if Dylan Gabriel goes out there, twists his ankle on the second play, and we're playing a full game with Shador Sanders, and he has zero chemistry with the starters? But
And your point doesn't make sense because the question specifically is tailored around the fact that Dylan Gabriel was getting first team reps even though Joe Flacco was the starter. So it does happen, it's just not happening in this case.
well, I guess it's hard to tell as well because we don't get the same insights from the media or as
It just
ourselves
came from
going.
Kevin's lips. We just heard it.
Right, but was Dylan we don't know for sure if Dylan Gabriel was getting reps during like the regular season with the ones or not. We don't know
I
that.
would say based on that answer he was.
I would think so too, but you don't know it, and we're not ever going to get that real straight answer because it's Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry's front office and how they deal with these types of things. So I don't know. I'm just going off of my own personal experience and what I've seen in the past with football. That typically, when you're in season, your ones run with your ones, your twos run with your twos, your threes get some reps if there's time for it, and then you rinse, wash, repeat.
Well, scout team too. Your threes get to play scout team.
I was a mainstay at the Worcester Fighting Scout team, let me tell you.
That's funny. Let's get into the lines and what this looks like from Vegas. It's not looking good for Cleveland. The Browns are +7. That's a good amount in the NFL. I mean, it's a full touchdown. The over under is 40 and a half. Anytime touchdowns, Judkins is the only one favored here at -120. Then you have Judy and Njoku, and then Stevenson, Diggs, and Henry for the Patriots. Our favorite line, though, it's back. It was gone last week, but it's back. Browns' first drive result. Touchdown is +490. Punt is -130. If it were me, I'm taking the punt.
Yeah, the punt's probably the safe bet there, and the odds tell you that as well. Um, Eric, I'm gonna come clean right now. I'm not giving you a score prediction this week. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting a
Why?
deuce on it because I feel decently confident for some reason, and every time I feel confident and put a score prediction out there,
You
it's
picked
been
the
a mess.
you picked the Browns last week.
Okay, that one, the writing was on the wall. Miami is a fish
I
dead
picked
in the water.
Miami.
I I know you did, but you're the pessimist to my optimist typically when we do these shows.
Realist,
I'm
but
not
yeah.
putting a thought process out there. There's keys for the Cleveland Browns to win this game. I think there is a clear path for the Cleveland Browns to be able to win this game. Are they going to do it? It remains to be seen. Are they going to carry the momentum from last game into this game despite what quality of team you think the Miami Dolphins are? It remains to be seen. And instead of trying to put my finger and put my pin in something and give you an answer, it remains to be seen. So I'm shrugging my shoulders. I'm excited to see what they look like on Sunday for better or for worse because it's going to be telling for what really is going to happen the rest of this Cleveland Browns season.
I agree with that. I'll say this, if the Browns can force turnovers, if the Browns can move the ball on offense, and if the yeah, there's too many ifs here. 24-10 Patriots would be my score prediction.
Fair enough. Hey, I said I'm just not putting my name on it. I feel confident, but I also could very much see them lose. I'm not going either way. I'm not making a prediction. I will make a prediction that isn't a score prediction, though. And my prediction is we are going to see the Wildcat formation in the red zone again this week. They are definitely going back to it. And when Quinshon Judkins has a passing touchdown, I can't wait to look at that clip and talk about it on Monday.
Here's my new prediction. I agree. I think we'll see the Wildcat, assuming we can get into the red zone, which is a pretty big assumption, but
True.
let's assume we get into the red zone. I think we will see the Wildcat. I hope he passes it because I'll tell you this, if he runs the Wildcat and runs it every time, I think he's getting stuffed by this Patriots defense.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be as clean as it was last week, but I would love, love, love. First of all, shout out to G. Bush, man, one of my favorite local media personalities. He's been calling it the wild dog, and I love the wild dog.
The
Let's run
wild
with the
dog.
wild dog. I'm ready for some wild dog action this weekend. If it works,
That
great.
sounds
If
wrong.
it,
I don't know why. Wild
well,
dog. I don't know. Maybe
I,
it's just
I,
the emphasis you're putting on it, but
you gotta say it with the AWG, not the DOG. It's the
it sounds like a
dog.
sex position or something. I don't know. Noah, I have been waiting all week for this next segment
Yeah.
because your boy is finally on the board with our bets. I'm up there, folks. It's not a lot. It's only $17. I'm still trailing Noah, but I have a new game plan. Slow and steady wins the race. There's a reason that that's a saying. There's a reason they show that cartoon with the tortoise beating the rabbit because the rabbit gets all cocky. That's Noah in this case. I know he doesn't look like a rabbit down there, but he's quicker than you think. I'm going slow and steady. So I got Bills money line, Bengals money line, Falcons money line. $10 wins you $10.35 profit. That is. I'm going to I'm going to squeak this out week by week until I take over, and then maybe you'll see like a fun bet again. But I'm feeling pretty confident now in my odds.
Eric, what the hell are you doing, man? You're giving these people betting it. I know it's between you and I, and this
It's
is a
our
competition.
competition, and there's going to be a penalty, so I got to start taking it serious.
There, you are giving these people betting advice to win 10 extra dollars. I could
If you
find
bet a
$10 on.
hundred.
I could find
You'll
$10 on the Cleveland street right now, probably.
bet 100 and you'll win 100.
Yeah, I don't like the Bengals leg anyway. Let's move on to my bet because this week is National Tight Ends. This weekend is National Tight Ends Day, excuse me. So I took 3 tight ends, put them in a parlay. This worked well for me last year. I actually won a shit ton of money. So we are going to do it again this week. We got Dallas Goddard, we got George Kittle, we got Dalton Kincaid all together, plus 2,551 odds. $10 wins you $255.05 odds, according to ESPN Bet as of 10/23/25. My bet's fun. Your bet sucks and is lame. Good for you. I hope you hit it, and you're still going to be losing to me.
I like your bet, except for the fact that George Kittle came back from injury last week and was only targeted twice in the past game and went 0 for 2. He had a lot of really good blocks, by the way, but those do not get your parlay one.
Yeah, that's why they're going to make an emphasis to get my man Kittle the ball and get my parlay to win. And then when I'm up 300, you're going to really, really, really have to start chasing.
As the guy that stuck him on IR and has stuck with him in fantasy, I hope you're right for that extent of things because I cannot catch a break in fantasy. I got to tell you, losing by a point last week, I literally cannot catch a break. That said, you're right. If you pull this one out, and I might even tail it, but if you pull this one out, you're gonna see some crazy betting odds. Do we have to only do 3 legs? Can I do like 10?
No, the
Can we
rules is 3
increase?
legs, Eric. The rules are 3 legs. Figure it out. That's all Imma
You're gonna
say.
be seeing that Quinshon Judkins 1+ passing touchdowns on my parlay.
Fair enough. Eric, we're going on the road. Why don't you tell the people what's going on this weekend?
We are this Sunday. We will be live prior to the game. We're live at Tapster, great bar in Lakewood. We'll be there live from 12 to about the start of the game 1, and then we're going to watch the game. So come out, have a beer with us, hang out, and then we'll be live. Was taking a week off because of the bye week, but we'll be back live on 11/9, which is High and Dry, another great bar. Noah and I have been there several times together. And then the Muni lot the following week, it might be a little chilly, but I just found one of my favorite coats that was packed away. So looking forward to that. And you could come find us, and you should because we're giving something away.
We are giving something away, and you get a choice in that something. A Browns jersey, a Cavs jersey. You pick which team you want, you pick which player you want. Me and Eric buy it for you and ship it to your door. All you got to do, subscribe to At the Office on YouTube and leave a comment on a recent video, and you will be entered to win either or of the jersey. And Eric, that navy blue Cavs jersey, I need one for myself, but I hope
I
whoever wins this picks that because those jerseys are beautiful.
I think I am gonna have to pick up one of those as well. So I'm with you on that. But I keep seeing that Judkins jersey in the promo for it, and I keep thinking, man, I kind of want a Judkins jersey too. I want
Yeah,
both.
you got to have a Buckeye. You got to get a Buckeye Browns jersey, and he's the first worthwhile. I mean, Mike Hall might be later on, and we've had some Buckeyes throughout the year. Denzel Ward. What am I saying?
Yeah,
I
Ward.
always forget about Warden. I take my comments back, but Judkins, yes, I'm with you 100%.
First offensive player. Let's go with
There you
that.
go. Thank you for cleaning it up. If you can't tell, it's the freaking weekend, and I'm ready to have me some fun. I'm a little loosey goosey right now, so I can't
Is
remember
that
some of my Browns players.
is that Akon? Who is that?
I don't remember. It's from your era,
Twista,
not mine.
maybe?
No, it's
It
not.
is from
I
my
think it is Akon.
it is from my era. All right, on that note, the debate never ends, but the show does for now. We'll see you next time.